I am co-founder and executive director of FTW Foundation, which stands for the Women Foundation. We are a Philippine nonprofit organization that selects and trains very specific deserving women into new tech roles. So we do these super boot camps that prepare them for these future resilient jobs in the tech industry, and specifically data roles, data scientist, data engineer, data analyst, and those sorts of roles. So that's what we do. Because women are underrepresented in the tech industry, so it's something that I think the women need and the industry needs. It's very important to have a woman's perspective. When you have data teams or tech teams where there are fewer or no women, you get a lot of bias and the wrong kinds of development. So I think both women need this to be able to have a foot in the door in these industries that are part of the future, but also because those industries need women. Well, I think we all, from the assumption, understand this in a very particular way. When you have a group of women learning and developing something together, the energy is really something that's difficult to define. It's palpable, it's strong, and it creates a kind of super energy, I think, that allows you to be creative, allows you to support one another, and then the end result is much bigger than the sum of the parts, I think. So I think that, for one, is why I decided to train women in particular, because I know that when you have this energy of women all striving together for a common goal, it's really quite electric, it's quite strong. And secondly, because I think when women are there, they're half the world. So when you're developing products, you're developing algorithms, you're developing anything in this world, if you do not understand what women really need, or they are not part of the foundation of what is being built, it's really quite lacking. Okay, we graduated our first cohort in 2019, and by this year, we would have graduated over 600 women. The average is between, usually we've kind of honed this formula of finding career switchers, because many of these jobs we trained for 5 years ago did not even exist. So you don't graduate from university thinking at least people of our age or even a bit younger, they didn't know that these jobs were going to be the things that they would like to do. So the average age is between 26 to 29. Most have 3 to 4 years experience, but we have wonderful stories of women in their late 30s switching careers, thinking that I have no more hope to do something different than working in a BPO, let's say. But then they take our course, which is very difficult to get in because we choose for aptitude. So you need to have some kind of comfort level with math and statistics. You don't have to be a mathematician, but you have to kind of like math. And there are a lot of women who, even though they're not doing math in their life, they love it, right? So we've awakened that love for things like that, and that feeling of ay kaya ko pala, so that I think is what we do at FTW Foundation, and that community of women supporting each other is, I think, what makes us different from other programs. So we have we have designed our own 4-step online selection process. So we have an application with essays, and we ask for motivation, and then we filter. We have an assessment that we design based on what the profile is, and then we filter again. Then we have some sort of analytics activity or a workshop or a case study that allows us to test for other values that the role might need. And then we filter again, and then we end it all with an interview where we can really get to know the candidate well. So we average over 1,000 applicants for 30 places. So it's really quite competitive. Mm-hmm. But I have to emphasize that we also like to filter for financial need. So we try to give this opportunity, which we consider to be a world-class opportunity, to women who otherwise would not have the resources to take this training. So we encourage women who maybe can afford to perhaps leave this chance to those who cannot.
I believe so. I mean, I think women of faith, women of action, the government has been trying, and many parts of the Philippines has been trying to push for upskilling. You know, they keep saying now AI is going to disrupt, jobs will be lost, we need to upskill. But we, like the little engine who could have been doing it, funded by our own fundraising since 6 or 7 years ago. So we believed in this upskilling even before it became sort of a term that everyone uses more frequently. So that's number one. I think Assumption taught us that you have to take action. When you believe in something, you do something. And I think that's what I did. And as I mentioned earlier, I will never forget that kind of camaraderie and friendship embodied in my years in the Assumption, and the wonderful friendships that now get brought to another level with all our veladas and all the efforts that we make to help Assumption with its mission. I hope we would have helped thousands of women, and I hope we continue to evolve. We continue to prove that we're not just going to do something one way. We're going to continue to learn, be lifelong learners, and provide opportunities for these women, because it's so worth it. You know, when you find that light bulb moment where a woman says, "Wow, kaya ko pala, I can do this," and that's really a wonderful moment. I don't know if it's true or not, but there is a perception that we can use to our advantage. I always tell the women in my program, you've got to spin it. Whatever advantage you have to spin it. And that's because companies and even men believe that we are more detail oriented, we are more persistent, we are more patient. True or not, we can use that to our advantage and make sure that we deliver for these companies that take chance on us. And I think most of the time, in my experience, we don't let them down. In fact, the one thing that also makes FTW stand out is that we teach soft skills. And a lot of people think, I don't like to say soft skills. I said, why? Softness is a strength. Not everyone can be strong and soft at the same time. So we do teach communication skills because we feel that that's a very underrated skill in the industry. There are a lot of tech people who can talk tech, but they cannot talk it to non-tech people. You need to be able to speak the decision making, and data should be told in a story, right? There's storytelling. And we teach that at FTW. So we love teaching soft skills, and we think that our women come out stronger for it. What I can say basically is what I say to all my scholars. Number one is find your tribe. Make sure that you have supportive women behind you that will be there to have your back, and be bold. I think women need to, once they get over that initial hesitation and they move to that next step and they realize they can, then sky's the limit for them.